at 9 o'clock, we're there. So thank you for that. So in Power Hour today, we're going to focus on shoulder strength and endurance, and a little stretching, a little opening in the upper body. And I always say, or I try to always say, make sure you modify and take your time, be careful, just be very aware of your own body as you're practicing. If you need to modify or rest or pause, anything like that, please do so. So let's go ahead and start. Let's start in mountain pose. So I invite you to stand near the top of your mat. You might stand with your feet about hip distance apart, toes forward. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your eyes and just take a soft gaze forward or downward. You might start with a few deep breaths just to tune into your own breathing, to connect to breath. And then just continue with slow, steady breaths in and out. And as you're becoming more aware of your own breath, just feel your body settling into the space, arriving, and being here in the moment. Just slow, steady breaths. Deeply connecting. Let's go ahead and just take 3 more slow, deep breaths, now preparing our bodies to move. Whenever you're ready, let's inhale and extend your arms into the air. Reach and stretch high. Exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. You might bend your knees quite a bit as you make your way down towards your toes. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs and extend your spine, a long flat back. Exhale, let's fold again. Now you might touch your toes, but you don't have to touch your toes here. You might just have a partial fold, but enough where you can kind of hang heavily forward, maybe loosen the arms, shake them out a little bit. And I like to circle the shoulders, maybe roll them backward, roll them forward. Since we are working with shoulders today, let's just tune them up a little bit, loosen them up. Send some breath into those areas as well. And then from here, just start to shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees a bit, look forward to extend your spine. Maybe spread your wings by taking your arms out to the side, then inhale to stand up tall. That's it, reach high, then exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale, sweep your arms into the air. We're just gonna make this flow. Exhale, leading with your heart. Let's fold forward, coming down towards toes. Inhale, rise up halfway, so maybe sliding your hands up to your thighs. Crown points forward. Exhale, back down, just very briefly. Again, shifting weight into your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Take your arms out. That's just a prep to rise now with an inhale. Stand up tall, reach into the sky, and your exhale, hands back down to your heart. Let's just pause, take a breath or two. Keep this connection. Let's continue with our sun salute. Inhale, reach into the air. Remember to move at your own pace. Exhale, let's fold forward. Good bend in the knees. Let's inhale to rise up halfway. Long, flat back like a table. Exhale, bend your knees enough to place your hands on your mat so you can step or walk both of your feet back until we're in plank pose. And we're going to hold here for a moment. So if you get a little tired, you can certainly bring your knees to the ground if you'd like right there, or keep them lifted. But here, just be aware of your hands. Just press strongly into the ground so you feel that energy in your arms, strong, straight arms. Even feel them squeeze inward towards each other. That will engage your chest muscles, We're going to inhale right here. Exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, our shortcut to downward facing dog. Once you arrived, you may need to make some adjustments with your feet, maybe your hands, and just settle into the pose. If you'd like, you can add some movement with the legs by pedaling the feet. Press one heel down, then the other, just alternating. Just having some awareness of your feet, your toes, and your calves, even your knees as you bend them. Perhaps your hips as you push side to side through your hips. And as you're moving the lower half of the body, still pay attention to your hands, still pressing strongly into the ground, strong arms. Then come back to just stillness in down dog. As you're able, bend your knees a tiny bit more, lift your hips a little bit higher, allowing your chest just to sink a little lower towards the floor. Very minimal movement. From here, we'll inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching back nice and long. Exhale, let's bring right foot up to the top of the mat, near the right hand. We're going to turn left heel to the ground behind, yes? Shifting the weight back so there's more weight in that back foot, so now there's less weight in your hands. That's it. So you can easily rise, hinging from hips, rising up. Warrior one, facing forward. Our exhale will carefully fold again. Let's plant the hands back down into the ground. Let's step back into plank pose. Another pause right here. Pressing firmly into the mat. Feel that energy in your arms. Take your shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, hips into the sky. Make your adjustments with feet and hands. Same thing. Let's hold in stillness for a moment in the down dog. But bend your knees a bit more. Lift your hips a little higher. Feel your chest sink a little bit. Let's just providing a little bit more opening in the chest as well as your shoulders. Now let's inhale, extend left leg up into the air, reach back. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat near left hand. Right heel turns to the floor, the weight shift back into that foot until your hands are light so you can easily hinge from hips, rising up, reaching up to our warrior one. And our exhale, folding. Plant the hands into the mat. We'll step back into plank pose. You can take that same shortcut or finish your push-up. Come down if you'd like. Yeah, you can bring knees to the floor first if you need to. Chaturanga. Inhale, either a low cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Hold for a moment. Take a nice full breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet up to the top of your mat. Once there, inhale, rise up halfway. Flat back like a table. Exhale, again, fold. Lean back into your heels. Bend your knees, look forward. That should extend your spine. Then reach out with the arms, rise up, reach up. Yeah, exhale, hands down to your heart. Let's hold for a moment here. Let's bring the arms down by your side with palms facing forward. Yeah, shake them out there too, that's good. Shake them out there and then bring energy back into the arms by holding here. Palms open, even roll. What happens here, we're outwardly spiraling or opening up through the shoulders, so we're feeling that slight shoulder roll back. So you get a nice opening up through the shoulder and chest area there. Hold that for a moment. We're gonna move into tree pose, just get right into a balance. So start shifting your weight over to your right foot, root down into the floor. Then an inhale to feel a little taller through the spine. Breath rising to fill up your lungs. Your exhale to engage. We'll float the left foot up. Yeah. Flexing the foot to keep the legs strong. That's it. We'll open the door. Knee swings out to the side, plugging the foot on the inside of your leg. If you need the ground, use the ground with your toes. Yep. Or calf, or even inner thigh. I always go to my calf. And then inhale. Let's take the arms up into the air. You might even keep them more at a V shape, something like that. Yeah, just open up a little bit, just so you feel spacious in the neck and shoulder area. Sometimes when we get close, it gets a little binding. So let's just open it up. And just reach. There you go. Just keep reaching through the arms. We'll swing the left knee forward. Lift your knee with a flexed foot. Perfect. Foot back down onto the ground and just press the air down by your side. And then you can shake it out again. Yeah, arms, shoulders, hands, and then a little stretch through the feet, ankles, and toes. Good. And we'll just come back to this energized mountain posture. Start shifting weight over to the left side, root down. Lengthen spine as you inhale, core connected. When you're ready, float your right foot up, flexing the foot. We'll swing the knee out and plugging the foot on the inside. Calf, inner thigh, or use the ground. When you feel set, go ahead and extend the arms into the air. Maybe keep that V shape with the arms, reaching outward, finding something out in front of you. Either the wall in front of you or even down low. Just dart your eyes down so you can, if you're looking down at the floorboard or a speck on the ground, just to hold and help with balance. Keep reaching through the arms. We'll swing the right knee forward, lift knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot, press air down by your side. That's it, as if it was weighted. And then, let it all go. Shake it out. Even some shoulder rolls here. Good. Just getting some mobility, flexibility throughout the body. Then we'll make our way back into mountain pose. And we'll continue our flow. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, it's swan dive. Here we go. Inhale, rise up halfway. A little weight shift towards your toes. Feel like you're coming forward. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to your mat. Step back into plank pose. Once there, breathe in just for a little bit more length in the body. Then exhale, finish your push-up if you'd like. Coming down, chaturanga. Choose up dog or cobra as your back bend with a breath in and exhale, downward facing dog. Make a quick adjustment as you settle into this pose. Then we'll continue the flow. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach back. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel to the ground behind you. Find your center, shifting the weight back. Less weight in the hands, so they'll float right up. Inhale, warrior one. And here's our exhale to warrior two. That's it, Make some adjustments with your feet so you feel pretty steady. That's it, a very well grounded sensation. Arms are parallel, there you go. Then our side angle, let's follow the right hand forward to angle the upper half of the body. We'll rotate the arms, there we go. Right arm maybe on the inner right leg, or your left arm reaches straight up for a moment towards the ceiling. Notice how your torso is facing directly towards your left side. Stay here, but bring your left hand down behind you, perhaps just resting it on your low back or even your left hip. Either one. Let's roll the left shoulder back and hold it back just to encourage more opening up through the chest, keeping this nice alignment we've established of the torso opening. You can also look down and just notice how you're kind of right over your right thigh. You're sideways and right over your right thigh. Let's inhale to re-extend this left arm up into the air. Let's turn, bringing the hands down to the ground. We'll step back into plank pose. Finish the flow as you'd like. Remember that shortcut to down dog is always perfect. Going all the way through, meeting in our downward facing. Same thing other side. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air behind, reach. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground. Take your time with these transitions if need be. Find the lightness in the hands before rising, then an inhale to help you rise. Exhale, here is our opening to warrior two. Make your adjustments. I'm just going a little wider. Feel really solid, really secure there. Arms extended energetically. Let's follow the left arm forward, reach out. Let's rotate the arms. As you notice, I'm staying up pretty high in the pose. You're certainly welcome to stay up this high or go down much lower as it feels okay. As long as you can feel that same opening, the sideways sensation of your torso. Let's bring right hand down behind you to low back or right hip. Roll the right shoulder back. Again, encouraging more heart opening, more torso opening sideways. And if you look down at your left knee or thigh, you might even notice you're right over that leg, as opposed to maybe swinging more onto the inside of the leg, if that makes sense. We'll inhale to re-extend right arm up into the air, good reach. Our exhale will turn, plant the hands. We'll slide left foot back, plank. Same thing, finishing your sequence. Take a low cobra or up dog as a back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to go to the ground, so you might just kneel down, take a seat back briefly in hero, so you can bring your knees to the ground. We're going to take a seat, swing the legs around to the front. Sit in the center of your mat. We're going to lie down for bridge. So find your center in the mat. Go ahead and lie down. We'll go right into bridge. So you're going to lie down flat with your knees bent and feet on the ground. Arms just down by your side initially. We'll inhale to bring good breath and sensation of breath to the lungs. Fill them up. Exhale, you might even breathe out through your mouth, blowing the air out. Navel to spine, and then peel your hips up off the ground, right up into the air. You can stay just like this, or if you happen to have a few blocks or a prop of some sort that you can slide underneath you to sit on, welcome to do that. You can even use your arms, maybe bend your arms at 90 degrees, pressing the elbows or triceps down into the ground to help stabilize the upper body, and it might even help lift the upper body. And one other thing here, you might even rock your upper body left and right a little bit and see if you can get your left shoulder, then your right shoulder a little bit more underneath you. Squeezing the shoulder blades together in addition to pressing down into the earth with the backs of the arms and of course your feet. Just feel how energetic the body feels in this pose. 2 more breaths. After that second breath, we'll wiggle the toes forward a little bit, extend your arms straight up into the air. That should get the shoulders out from underneath you, and then roll your way down to the ground. That's it. Bring knees to chest. Now you can rock forward and back or left and right. You can just hold here for a few moments if you'd like. When you're ready, a good exhale to rock your way up to seated so we can come to boat. Take your time with that. If you're still on your back, you can stay on your back. And we'll get set up for a boat pose. You can do this with feet on the floor or leaning back with the feet lifted. Either one's fine. I'm going to start with my heels down. I'm going to hold on to the backs of the knees just to help extend spine so you might sit straight up. There you go. Exhaling to engage, feel locked and solid. Then you'll lean back. Again, feet can stay on the ground, but the more that I lean back, I can easily feel my feet float up. And it maintains this good length in the upper body. Let's lift the chin up a little bit so we have a nice long neck. You can maintain the hold of the legs, or you might release if you want. Don't forget, you can always bring feet back down. You can even bring hands to the floor. This could even be your boat pose. And just focus on the breath work and the core engagement. 2 more breaths. There you go. All right, 3rd breath in, and our exhale, we might cross legs. If you can, hands in front. To hop back or just lean to the side and just step or crawl the legs back. Let's just come to hands and knees. So you may have come to plank. If you came to plank, just bring knees to the floor. If you need to pad your knees, maybe fold your mat underneath your knees. Now from here, we're going to make a kickstand with the right foot. I'm tapping my right foot. That's it. Just swing the right foot off to the side. Yeah. Then extend the left leg back, lifting the knee and just extend the leg back. You can keep the toes on the ground initially just for balance. We're just setting this up. Lean over to your right hand so we can open up. So left arm goes up into the air. So another nice sideways pose. There, nice. You can also act as a good hip opener, especially if you feel your pelvis. Just kind of push forward a little bit. Keep reaching up into the air towards the ceiling. And start reaching over your head if you're able. Yes. Reaching towards the front of your room. Maybe your left arm comes a little closer towards your left ear. Reaching, and as an option, yes, you can lift your left foot. You might flex the foot just to give it a little bit more energy. Reach. There you go. Nice. Breathe in. We're going to exhale and slowly turn to come back down to the ground. Left hand, left knee, bring your kickstand back in. Let's take 2 breaths, cat and cow. Inhale, lift head and heart, arching the back a little bit. Exhale, round it out, and do that at least 1 more time. We'll get set up for the other side. If you want to do more cat and cow poses, please feel free, because it feels good. And then left foot will just swing out to the side for our kickstand. You can always adjust that for balance. Let's extend right leg back. Toes stay on the floor for balance as well. Shifting weight into the left hand, so we can take the right hand out and up like you're opening a big door. Again, turning sideways. Reach straight up into the air. Now your right foot, you can just let it rest on the ground. Your pelvis or belt buckle, if you're wearing a belt, pushes forward just to open the hips a little bit more. Then as you're able, follow your right hand over your head. Your arm comes a little bit closer towards your right ear. Reaching, extending, and if you'd like, just an option, flexing the right foot to lift it into the air. Again, it's just an option. You can always keep that foot on the ground. Feel the lengthening here. Also notice what's happening in the shoulders. Let's breathe in. Exhale, let's slowly return to the earth. Both hands, both knees, bring your kickstand back in. 2 breaths, cat and cow. All right, come back to a neutral tabletop posture. We're going to do 2 poses here. One will be child's pose, but before we get to child's pose, let's do puppy pose. So all you're going to do is just bring the elbows to the ground like so. You can even bring the hands a little closer to one another if that feels okay. And just kind of feel your hips lift up into the air. In this position, your hips are directly over the knees. And you can even extend the arms out a little bit and bring your chest a little closer to the ground. So this is puppy. It's actually a nice alternative to child's pose. So maybe 2 more breaths in puppy pose. Notice what's happening in the shoulders and chest. And then if it feels okay on your knees and hips and ankles, go ahead and just sit back and down into child's pose. Let's start with the arms fully extended out front. So we're going to make it an active child's pose. There you go. Yeah, as if you're like crawling forward perhaps. You might kind of creep your fingers forward a little bit. Notice the sensations, where it shows up. For me, I feel this a little bit in my shoulders, but also kind of on my latissimus muscles. That's just kind of the side portions of the back body. Now, let's take the hands behind. Embryo pose. You might keep your forehead on the ground or a blanket or pillow, but the hands are reaching back but relaxed, as if you're reaching for your feet. And just let the shoulders and arms just kind of melt. Just let them drag or drop. So that way, maybe the shoulders feel a little bit more relaxed. So 3 more breaths. And after your 3rd breath, let's bring the hands back out front so we can rise back up to hands and knees. There we go. Let's step the hands forward a bit so your hands are out from underneath your shoulders here. Maybe spread out your fingers. Press strongly or even lean into the hands so your palms go flat. Yes. Strong, straight arms. Feel that energy. Tuck your toes with an exhale. Just lift your knees and hips. You'll have returned to down dog. Keeping the knees bent, hips high, sink the chest slowly and carefully. Breathe in. As you exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Lean back into your heels, bend your knees. Look forward, extend the arms out. Again, that's our prep to stand up tall, reach into the sky. Yes, exhale, hands down to your heart. Let's hold here for a moment, completing that sequence. And then you can bring your arms down and just relax again, just shake all that out. That's a lot of pressure on the hands too. So if you need to do that counter stretch, for the wrists, just press the tops of the hands together, even a little sway here, just to kind of massage that area. Because that's a lot of pressure we put on our hands. And down dog, it must be 12:30. We're halfway through. Flexed hands. There's a lot of pressure right there, so we want to get a little counter action there. Okay. So more balance and more shoulder work. So just eagle pose. We're going to do eagle pose. All right. Now I'm going to turn around and face the other way because I'll because if I don't, I'll confuse my left and right. So let's do this together. So arms down by your side. Same thing with palms forward, like that, so that gets that natural shoulder roll back. Look directly forward. So let's prep for our eagle pose. We'll start with the arms. You're going to inhale, reach into the sky, or this V shape like this. You're going to exhale and slowly bring your arms down. Let's pay attention to the left arm as it comes down. It's going to come down and behind or underneath the right arm, like so. They're crossing until you're crossing your elbows, like that. Flip the palms up, and then lift the arms like this. And so you have this X right there, okay? And then you're gonna wrap them up as you're able. If they don't wrap, maybe you're just touching fingers, or maybe you're keeping the X formation there, okay? Again, so I don't confuse my left and right. Start shifting your weight over into your left foot. So your right foot's obviously very light, and there's a little bend in the knees, like you're gonna sit. Exhale, draw belly in. So you can pick up your right foot and cross this whole right leg over the left. And then squeeze, and if it can, wraps around. Now I can't do that right now, but the foot can perhaps wrap around that calf. Or if it's off to the side like mine is, just energize the foot. Point your toe or flex the foot. Or if you need balance, maybe cross more at the shin so your toes are on the ground. Okay? So you could be like this. And if your elbows are a little low, if that feels fine, just keep them here. But if you can, send the elbows up a little bit. Be aware of your shoulders here. Send the elbows forward, and then breathe into your upper back, because we're sending the arms forward, shoulders forward, which opens the back. Puff up the back with a breath. Squeeze arms, belly, and legs a little tighter. Now we're going to uncross the legs. First, uncross, plant the feet. Let's unwrap the arms, reach out, reach up, take it in slow motion. Big stretch here. We're going to do the other side immediately. Exhale, let's bring the arms down. Now pay attention to your right arm as it comes down and behind or underneath the left. Cross at the elbows if you're able. Flip the palms up. Lift. Wrap. Or just hold. It's okay if the elbows are a little bit relaxed right there. That's if they've dropped. Let's get the feet set up. So a little bend of the knees. Put weight into the right foot, root. Exhale, pull belly in, because we're going for balance. We need to pick up the left foot and leg, cross that leg entirely over the other, wrap the toes around the calf, or off to the side with an energized foot, or use the ground. Now, if you're able, lifting elbows slightly, send them forward. Notice what happens in the shoulders. Broaden the back. Feel that spaciousness you're, creating in your back body. Breathe into it. Puff it up. As you're able, squeeze your arms, belly, and legs a little tighter together towards center line. Then we'll uncross the legs first. Plant the feet. Let's unwrap the arms. Reach out. Reach up. There you go. Arms down by your side. And release all of that. There we go. Okay. So a lot of our postures, certainly we bring the shoulders back because we're like this a lot. Driving, typing, this hunched over feeling. And so we always do a lot of opening this way. But this, of course, eagle brings them forward, okay? But gets a nice stretch through the rear deltoid, back here, and then broadens the back. Okay, let's flow. So back to our mountain pose, palms open, shoulders back, right? Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky, yeah. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose, long flat back. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat. Let's step back into plank pose. Coming down, if you'd like, you can still take that shortcut. As you're able, as you take your back bend, whatever it is, roll shoulders back. Our heart opens. Exhale, downward facing dog. As you hold here for a moment, just again, feel the firm press of the hands into the mat, which stabilizes your whole upper body and keeps it square. Now, as we inhale, extend right leg up, reach back. It doesn't have to lift high.
In your upper body, which probably is still pretty level and stable. Now bend your right knee, bring your heel down towards your backside, and start lifting the right knee up into the air. Now you might start to feel some weight shift into left shoulder. Just be aware of that. You might even sink a little bit in that direction. Just be aware. As we exhale, we'll unwind. Let's step right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one, left heel turns to the ground. Shift the weight back. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one, exhale, let's open. Warrior two, good. Yeah, let's get a good solid stance. Let's turn the right palm up. Reach up into the air. Let this left arm just kind of relax down on the leg back there. It's not doing anything, it's just relaxing. Reach up. We're going to add a little motion here. You're going to bend this right elbow and bring your hand maybe just to the back of your head. Maybe you can reach your neck or maybe your shoulder. We're just bending. And I just this feels best for me just to keep my hand on my head. Then point with your elbow, just like you're reaching through your fingertips. Now reach through your elbow. And notice if there's like a stretch or lengthening through the tricep, down through the side of the body here as well. Re-extend right arm up. Come back to warrior two. Let's take side angle. Right arm down. Left arm up. Good. Now bring left hand down behind you to low back or left hip. Roll the left shoulder back and even feel like your whole torso is going to turn to face the ceiling. It may not move at all or very little, but just as long as you feel pretty open sideways. Now you can stay just like this or follow me. Now I'm going to go a little lower, which means I need to take my feet closer to the edges of my mat. Go a little bit lower so my arm drops, my fingertips can touch the ground. We're going to go for a bind here. So right arm will reach underneath right leg, and maybe you can reach your left set of fingers. It's okay if they don't reach, but maybe they can. Because we're turning the torso open and back, the left hand drops behind a little bit more, so maybe the fingertips touch. Or maybe you can hook fingers. 2 more breaths. There we go. Inhale, re-extend the arms floor to ceiling. We're going to exhale, turn, bring the hands to the mat. Step back into plank, hold plank for a moment. We're going to do a partial push-up. Just going to bend the elbows a little, go down a little, and push away to downward facing dog. And again, hands pressing firmly into the ground, strong, stable, and centered upper body. Let's inhale, extend left leg into the air. Hold that extension for a moment. Everything is still square up top. Bend your left knee, bring your heel down to backside, lifting the left knee into the air. Your hips open, but you might feel a little weight shift into right hand or towards right shoulder. Just notice. When you exhale, let's unwind it. Send left foot to the top of the mat. Back to our warrior one this side. Right heel to the ground, shifting weight back. Let's rise up, reach up, and our warrior two. That's it. You can always start to widen the stance here if you'd like. Let's reverse our warrior. Left palm turns up, reach up. Yeah. Right hand can just rest lightly on the leg behind you. First, just to reach through the fingertips. Then we'll bend that elbow, hand comes down behind you, maybe to neck, shoulder, or head, whatever feels best, and then reach through your elbow, point, and just notice the energy there. I feel that stretch through the tricep, down through the lat, through the side of the body. Let's re-extend the arm, come back up to warrior two, side angle, reach out, tip it over, left arm down, right hand up. Still feeling quite sideways even in this pose. Stay here as we now bring right hand down behind you to low back or right hip. Let's roll the right shoulder back. And yes, encouraging that heart opening, but really feeling as if the torso is going to turn completely to face the ceiling. And that right hand, yeah, it'll drop a little bit lower towards your left hip. Now, if you're able, slide down a little closer towards the ground. Maybe you'll touch the ground with the left set of fingers, especially if you take the feet a little bit wider.
And then the bind if you'd like. Left arm reaching underneath, left leg, yeah, look at that. And maybe touching fingers or hooking fingers. Good job. Two more breaths. Lots of sensation here. Let's inhale to re-extend the arms floor to ceiling. Turn so we can bring hands to the floor. Step back into our plank pose. That same partial push-up, we will bend the elbows a little, come down a little like you were doing a push-up. Now you can go as low as you want, but then we're pushing away from the ground. Return to downward facing dog. Let's come back to the floor. Kneel down. Sit back, maybe to hero if that feels okay, or just take a regular seat. Right there, okay? If this isn't comfortable, just take a regular seat here. Okay, so I was talking about this down dog and just feeling pretty even in the body, especially in the upper body. But when a leg goes up, let me take my right leg up into the air in this case, bending the knee, and if I lift the knee, my hips open, but I can feel energy and a weight shift into my left side, my left hand, and my left shoulder. Let's just take advantage of that sensation of leaning over to the left side by doing this. I'm leaning into my left, I'm bending this elbow, and bringing my elbow right to the ground. I might even reposition this right hand. See how my elbow is nicely bent in my right arm? This just helped me stabilize in this pose. Then I can even lift that knee a little higher. I'm rooting, I'm really pressing into the ground with my left forearm. And with a little assist of this right hand, I'm pushing into the ground to help lift, unwind, stepping through, okay? So it's a little acrobatics there, coming down to the elbow. Alrighty, so since we're seated, let's just come back to boat for a moment. If you're in hero, we'll just swing the legs out front. Don't forget those variations of the posture, especially if you want to make sure your spine's lengthened, chin lifted. Core strength. Let's flow. Breathing in, lifting up. Yeah, exhale, cross legs, hands in front, hopping back or step back into plank or swing the feet back behind you. Plank pose. Let's do that same little push-up, partial push-up to downward facing dog. Okay, let's try that little acrobatics. Hands, let's just be aware of this down dog first. Everything's firmly pressing into the ground, at least the hands are, strong arms. Everything's stable and even. Extend right leg up behind you. Bend the right knee. As you start lifting the knee towards the ceiling, things will start to shift towards left hand and shoulder. Start bending that left elbow and see if you can bring that whole arm or left forearm to the ground. Yes. We stay light by lifting, that right knee, lifting into the air. It keeps a little bit of a lightness, good job, in the body in this very acrobatic pose. Pressing strongly into the ground with the left forearm. Now use your right hand, push it firmly into the ground to help lift that left elbow off the ground. Re-extend your right leg back behind you. Let's follow it through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one, left heel to the floor behind you. Rise up. Take your time. Warrior one. Warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Right hand reaching. Bend elbow, hand behind head. Point with elbow. Feel the side stretch. Release, re-extend. Right into side angle. Reach up initially. Bring left hand down behind you to low back. Now you can stay just like this or work towards that bind again. Making a little bit more space between the feet so you can get a little closer to the ground so this right arm can reach underneath and maybe find left set of fingers. Make sure the left shoulder's rolling back, torso open sideways. Breath. Inhale, re-extend the arms, floor to ceiling. Turn, hands to the ground. Slide right foot back, partial push-up, downward facing dog. Stabilize.
Strongly even in the upper body. Left side or left leg extends into the air. Inhale. Bend the knee. Start lifting the knee. Feel that energy shift to right hand and shoulder. Bend the right elbow so you can lightly bring that elbow to the ground. If you need to reposition left hand a little bit, so you have a little bit more stability. Lifting that left knee into the air will create some lightness, more opening for sure. The right forearm or hand even is pressing strongly into the ground. Use your left hand to help lift the right elbow back up off the floor. Unwind, re-extend the left leg. Left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Rise when you're ready, take your time. Warrior two. More distance between the feet. Reversed warrior, left palm turns up, reach up. Extend, bend elbow. Hand down behind you, point with elbow. Feel the stretch. Re-extend. Let's rotate right into our side angle. Left arm down, right hand up. Nice opening of the body. Right hand comes down behind you. Roll right shoulder back. Again, you can stay just like this. This is fine. Or create a little bit more distance between the feet. Get a little lower. So you can bring this left arm underneath left leg. Reach up, find right set of fingers. Now you might be slightly turned towards the floor or at an angle. That's fine. But you're also working towards getting a little bit more sideways. Lifting up, leaning back, roll the right shoulder back. Again, that same sensation like you're trying to turn your whole body to face the sky. Inhale, re-extend the arms, floor to ceiling. We'll turn, bring hands down to the mat. Let's step back into plank pose. Let's take a full flow here, Chaturanga Dandasana. Up dog or cobra, roll shoulders back, opened heart. Exhale, downward facing. Excellent. Let's bring knees to the floor. Sit back into hero.
Again, just to get off the hands again. A little stretch. Relieve. All right, we're going to thread the needle. Okay, which is, you've done this. We're going to get on hands and knees and thread the needle. And what that pose can do, just kind of like what eagle does, it kind of brings the arms and shoulders forward, but it helps to kind of stretch through that part of the body as we get through. It's a twist in the torso, but even think about that pull and stretch sensation through this section of the body. So let's come back to hands and knees. And this is how we'll set it up. Let me see. First, take your left hand and just step it forward a little bit, so it's slightly in front of the right hand. And then step your left hand to the left side a little bit. And then imagine your middle finger on that left hand was like the hand on a clock. It's pointing at 12. We're going to turn it inward towards the 1. Okay? Then kind of lean over into that left hand a little bit so you can pick up the right arm and reach out. Then we'll thread the needle. So the right arm will come down and behind the left arm and let that left elbow bend. It should come to a natural 90 degrees because of the new hand placement. As you're able, that whole right arm can come to the ground. So this is that pull, that stretch that can happen in that rear deltoid area, upper back, which you could do. Some of you are already doing this. If you lean a little bit to your right side, you can probably pick up the left knee and extend the left leg back behind you. And then maybe, swing this left foot up towards this right hand. And by doing so, that might allow you to lean back onto that right shoulder or behind on the rear deltoid a little bit. So you get more in the back body. So it doesn't feel like you're just lying on top of the shoulder, but get more of the back side of it, if that makes sense. 2 more breaths. Now to come out of it when you're ready, we'll take that left leg back behind where it was.
Use the left hand, it's at 90 degrees, press it into the floor to lift yourself up so you can unthread the needle. Re-extend, maybe taking it out to the right side, reopening, and then bringing hand to the floor. Let's sit back once again, because that was probably a lot of pressure on the left hand. Some circles, press. You can even use the ground for a little light pressure there if you need it. Yeah. So as you just stay right where you are, let me just quickly demo what we just did. So I stepped my left hand forward, out to the side, turned it in, right arm went out, and I thread, and this elbow bends. So for me, I'm right on top of my right shoulder, and that feels fine. But if I want to get more in that rear deltoid, I lifted the left knee, extended it back, and as I send this left foot this way, it sends more weight that direction. So I can roll back that direction on my shoulder. So there's even less weight on this hand. So I'm on the rear deltoid, and I can roll back. I just have to be careful not to roll completely off the side. And then I came out of it. Using this bent elbow as leverage, press to get up and out. Okay? So let's do the other side together. We'll come to hands and knees. Same setup. We'll step the right hand forward a little bit, off to the right side a bit. Middle finger turns inward towards the 11 on the clock. Let's extend the left arm out to the side. Yeah, thread the needle, coming all the way down. And for me, I land right on top of the shoulder, which is actually kind of nice, just for a little like acupressure. Right elbow should be bent at 90 degrees. Adjust the hand there if you need to. Now, if you want to stay like this, do so. Or if you can, pick up the right knee and extend the right leg back, and then bring that right foot over towards left hand. Again, it puts more weight in that direction, so maybe you can lean back or roll back more onto that left rear deltoid for just a different sensation. This also takes some balance. Your core might be automatically engaging, just so you don't roll away. 2 more breaths. And then whenever you're ready, we'll bring that right leg back behind you. Press into the ground with the right hand so you can lift yourself up. Unthread. Yeah. Reach out. Bring it down. Let's go back to that puppy pose. So bring elbows down to the ground. Maybe extend the arms out a little bit. Hips stay up, but just sink the chest a little. Just a couple of breaths here. You can certainly stay in this posture or sit back entirely into child's pose if it feels okay. You might even want to take the knees out a little wider if that feels best. We'll start with an active sensation of reaching, maybe a breath or two. Then you can relax the arms and just keep them in place out in front of you, or use embryo pose where you bring your arms down by your side. Let the arms and shoulders completely relax. Three more slow breaths. Take your time. You can bring the hands back out in front. Rise up to hands and knees. Just do a quick cat and cow, maybe 2 breaths, as you'd like. Nice rounding here. A little arched back for cow. Exhale, round it into cat. Come back to neutral for a second, and we'll sit back. Then off to the side. Once again, sit in the center of your mat. We're going to go ahead and lie down as we're coming close to the end of our practice together. And just go ahead and roll down. And just hug the knees in. And just add some gentle movements here that feel good. Maybe a left and right sensation, forward and back, or circles.
kind of a way to massage the back a little bit. And since your feet are free, maybe just kind of move your ankles, circle the ankles. You maybe just hold in place and just circle the ankles, flex and point, wiggle your toes if you can. Yeah. And then choose a hip opener. It might be happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose, or you might do both of those postures if you'd like both of those postures. So just getting a little hip release. Again, just choosing one of those postures that you enjoy to get that hip release, or a combination of several hip releases. Continue as you'd like. The next movement is a twist. Add it whenever you feel complete with the hip openers. I'm just bringing my knees together. I'm going to take my knees off to the left side, down towards the ground as I extend my right arm to the right side. Settling in. And just feel let my body kind of melt. Getting that nice twist and a stretch sensation near the low back. Maybe a couple more breaths, but you can certainly stay here longer. And whenever you feel ready to move, come back to center. Pause there for a second, and then you can take the knees down to the right side as you extend your left arm to the left side. And 2 more breaths. And when you feel complete, coming back up to center and maybe moving right here into Shavasana or any other relaxing, restorative, even meditative position that might be lying down in Shavasana, that could be lying on your side, or even a seated position. If you have props that would support you, like blocks or a blanket, please use them. as you are, but then come to the awareness of your breath. Return to the awareness of your breath. And as you get reacquainted with your breath, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Feeling this wonderful resource flow through you. As you're approaching your 5th breath, prepare your body to move. And after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, carefully and slowly roll onto either side of your body, just coming to a nurturing pose, pausing there for a moment, and just a nice reminder that you took the time to take care of yourself. Still moving as slowly as can be, just make your way up to a seated position. Sitting up tall, just let your arms relax for a moment. Then we'll inhale, sweep your arms out across the room, reaching up into the air. Bring your palms together, and as you exhale, bring your hands down to heart space. And pause again in stillness. Take another breath in and out on your own. And as we complete our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.